This is good stuff, man. Okay. I'm gonna keep this for my own reference. Okay, so well, let's see here. We did the common mistakes. Okay, how do you manage challenging parents during an IEP meeting, or during the IEP process, or over the phone? What's your strategy?
Well, hopefully you know beforehand whether or not they're going to be challenging.
Yeah.
If you know beforehand, with a phone call, I usually tell them, hey, I have 10 minutes. I got lunch starting in 10 minutes, even though it may be half an hour or something like that.
You set a deadline, right?
Right out the gate.
Timer is on.
Right out the gate. I had a parent whose kid has a one-on-one a couple of days ago, and everyone told me that mom's a talker. So I said, hey, how are you doing? I want to give you a quick call. I got lunch starting in 10 minutes. I wanted to go something by you while I had time for you. In person and challenging IEP meetings, challenging parents at IEP meetings. Unfortunately, I've had a few. I think the first thing you do is you start with an agenda, and this is the agenda for our meeting. This is our timeline. We got 55 minutes. We're going to start here. We're start here. I know this part's going to be challenging. At the very top of the agenda, you set your meeting norms.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how we're going to conduct ourselves in this meeting. And I had a dad who was once pounding the table, and he's a big biker dude, and was trying to make one of our school psychologists and our counselors cry. And I just stopped, and I said, all right, we're done. We'll get back to you. We can reschedule a meeting. We're not going to sit here and have you treat our professionals this way. You would never expect us to treat you or your daughter this way.
Yeah.
And we're not going to conduct business until we can do so in a professional manner. And the dude had to come back next week, and he wasn't happy about it, but but you got to set the expectations at the start of the meeting. And I've seen some schools that their IEP conference room has the meeting norms up on the wall. We'll treat everyone with respect. One person will talk at a time. We will keep the students' needs at the focus of the meeting. That's our main focus. We will follow up with any decisions or anything that needs follow up, and here's our timeline. And I think that's kind of the first start to a challenging parent. The second part is that kid for that parent is their world and their most important. Their most important thing, and we have to have an understanding sometimes that some of these parents have been through the meat grinder for so long, and they've been fighting for this, and this, and sometimes these parents come into these meetings and all they know is that it's a fight, and they come up, they come up and they're all jacked up and they're ready to roll, and at the high school level, it's kind of like, okay, we know what works for your kid. We know this hasn't worked. Let's figure out a new plan. It's not going to be a fight. If you're coming in and asking for $1 million, we're not going to sit here and say yes.
Right.
But let's sit here and talk about some real world solutions. And so you kind of have to have that expectation. You got to understand from the parent's point of view that it has been a fight for them, and that they can be challenging. But I think if you stress that the importance of the student is our focus as well, not just yours.
Yeah, that helps.
That helps alleviate things. And again, 90% of the IEP meetings are great.
Yeah.
90% are parents who are supportive, and or team members who are supportive, and parents maybe don't know a lot about the process, and they're just happy that someone's helping their kid.
Yeah.
But we should know at this point whether or not it's going to be one of those parents or not.
Yeah.
And you got to front load and be ready.
Yeah. What's your take on, this is a little side note here, but students being at the IEP? Is that something that you encourage, or you?
At the high school level, 100%.
Okay.
If there's a transition plan going on, if they're 16 and older, 110%. They need to know the process. They need to know what their accommodations are. They need to know why they have an IEP.
Right.
They need to know what they are.
But there's also the age of majority page too.
There's majority once they're 18, obviously. But I tell some of the guys at the time, all right, you don't come to your meeting, I'm going to sign you up for the Marines. What? You can't do that. I'm like, you better be at your meeting, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got a parent next week who didn't want his daughter, and she's like 17 or 16, but it's because of emotional concerns and
Yeah,
being stressed and anxiety and stuff. And I get some of the stuff, and some of the stuff can be overwhelming. Some of the things for like our higher needs kids who have speech therapists here talking about what they can't do. The
Mhm.
OT sitting here talking to the kid about what they can't do.
yeah,
You know, the teachers, you know, here, and all they're hearing is, oh, you
It's
can't do this,
negative, yeah,
can't do
I
this.
can't
And,
do that.
and unfortunately, we have to do some of that stuff. I mean, we can phrase it better. We can say this is what they can do.
yeah,
But it does get a little overwhelming because kids are kids and they don't want to hear that. They want to.
yeah.
They want to be cool. They want to go on a date after homecoming.
Right.
They don't want to have to deal with these IEPs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I get it, but if there's a transition plan going on and a kid wants to do this after high school,
Yeah,
we need to be supportive of that, and they should be at the meeting.
yeah, I agree. Okay. Here's a good one here. You have a lot of experience. You know, I admire you a lot. I've known you for quite some time, and I think you have some pretty good stuff. I'd love to hear this part here. Is any ideas on how to improve the IEP process, whether it's at the state level, federal level, or the district level?
The state or federal level, that's hard. As far as the IEP process, at the state or federal level, again, we're talking about legal documents that are supposed to be individualized. And so for the feds or the state to come in and say, do it this way, this way, this way, this way, I think they're about right now. I think the
Okay.
way it's set up, I think they're hitting the main points. I don't think there's too much fluff.
Right.
There's some there's check boxes that don't apply to some things. There's check boxes that, I wish would be updated a little more.
Do you wish that we were? One of the things that I've realized is that we're not all on SACE, right? It's
Right.
kind of regional.
It's
Even
it's regional. The school districts and the RCOE, they contract with SACE.
I almost wish that there was just one software that maybe the government implied, so that when kids are transferring from one district to the other, there's no, you know what I mean? I'm looking at some of these different types.
There are other ones, and I've had like 4 of them.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know what
There was
this
one.
means.
There was one called Easy IEP, which wasn't easy at all. There was one called 2020.
Right.
Now we've had SACE for probably about 15 years.
Yeah.
The last Easy IEP. So SACE is kind of like they'll let you make mistakes on it, and it's like up to you to figure it out. And they're just trying to keep like a big file folder for all your history.
Yeah.
The last software we had wouldn't let you check a box because this box wasn't checked, or you haven't put this for this goal. You haven't done this. So it was much more about compliance.
Right.
You didn't put an objective for this goal. You didn't put 2 objectives for this goal. You cannot go on to the next goal until you come back to this. So
that's frustrating.
yeah. So IEPs are IEPs, but different states have different. They have different legislations. They have different guidelines. They have different rules, and so I think, at the state and federal level, I think there's only so much they can do. Common Core came in and the IEPs changed a little bit. At the district level, one thing I know other districts do that would help the process for us immensely is they have classified personnel that schedule. all the
Yeah.
IEPs.
Oh my
So-
God, that you hit it right on the button.
So
That's-
half of my IEPs, and then the hardest part of the IEPs is working the schedule, getting parents on the phone.
Yeah.
Parents have to work that day. Parents
Yeah.
can't be here at that time. Can you pick a time after school at 5:00? No, we can't do that. No,
Yeah.
we can't do it that day. There's an in-service this day. So, I know Coachella has at one time had someone who just scheduled all the IEPs. I don't know if it was for the school or for the district or what it was, but they had all the teacher calendars. They had all the IEPs. They had the case managers, and they would just send you an alert. Okay, your IEP that's due in a month has been scheduled. Parent has confirmed.
Did they collect the signatures too, the notice of meeting document?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know how that worked, but I know they got on the phone. They did the emails. They contacted parents, which is.
Yeah.
How many times you called a parent 6 times? They don't answer their phone.
Yeah, about a ton of times. I leave voice message, emails, and I still have trouble. I have one, I did the IEP, I still have yet to receive her signature, and I'm trying to track her down so I can affirm.
Yeah, and the other one is supporting new teachers, and I think our district has gotten better at that.
Yeah.
It's hard to find good teachers overall.
Yeah.
It's even harder to find good
Special
teachers in
teachers.
special ed.
I agree.
And when you find them, you gotta make sure you coach them up and,
Yeah.
you know, let them know it's gonna be all right and support them.
Yeah, the
which-
first
which-
year.
Which, you know, a lot of places don't do, and I hope we're doing a good job here.
I think you guys are doing great. Just from personal experience, I think you've been amazing. I think the whole department's been amazing. And I'm not just saying it because, I mean, how could I compare? I have other, like I said, I'm doing this internship, and so I communicate with other students from, other students from other regions that have, you know, different districts, and I've seen grown people crying
Yeah.
on the,
Well,
on the
there was,
screen, you know?
3 years ago, there was a paraeducator from my old school who got hired here
Yeah,
as a new teacher, and they, different department chair at the time,
yeah.
threw 24 IEPs at him, says, "Here you go, good luck," and
Jesus.
didn't talk to him ever again, and he ended up going back into being a para after 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And the dude was a great para, one of the best paras I've ever seen, and he worked his butt off to become a teacher, and got no support here, and he was back as a para. So it's important.
Yeah, especially that first year, man,
Yeah.
it's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think another thing too that I just to kind of close in on that remark is the scheduling part is where I notice where I make, I would say at least 50% of my mistakes are that
Mhm.
is the like you said, like the administrative part of our job, which is making the phone calls,
Mhm.
verifying that everybody that's supposed to be there, and sometimes you do everything right, but then you get that last minute email, oh, I can't make
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
or one of the service providers tells you they can't make it, and now you're left scrambling,
Yeah.
trying to, you know, get the documentation to send to the parent to sign off that this person can't make it, you
Yeah.
know, update the Google Calendar, update the spreadsheets,
Right.
you know, last minute, one of the teachers, the gen ed teachers can't make it, or maybe they didn't get the sub covered.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I kept telling admin, like, hey, make sure that on the spreadsheet that they let the teacher put, yes, I need a
Yeah.
sub,
Yeah.
and yes, what room number, because for me, that takes 5-10 minutes trying to locate their master schedule to see if it's a prep period or if it's
Mhm.
their actual, you know, do they need a sub and
Yeah.
all that little things. It's just more stuff on my head
Yeah.
that I have to sort out.
Yeah.
So,
But it gets easier.
yeah. All right, and then last question, as my second year here, any advice that you have for me as far as like what do I need to improve on? What do I see coming in the future? Anything like that? And please be honest.
Well, I mean, I'm so happy you're here. I mean, I think you've done a great job. And I don't think it's because of me. I mean, I'm just old coach that used to yell at you when you were 16 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think I think you came in with the right mindset. I think you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
And I think because you're older, you know how to treat yourself and you know how to treat people like a professional.
Yeah.
And like I also told you the first day is that we're teachers first and we're case carriers second.
Right.
And we need to keep that in mind. As your second year evolves and your third year, understand that with more capabilities and more abilities,
Mhm.
you're going to get more responsibility.
Right.
So you're probably going to be getting, you may have that case that comes up that has a kid that has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And a bitchy mom.
Yeah.
You can take bitchy out.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's the second video. We might not even include this one. So.
And that was the thing. Like probably my fourth year, I had just a caseload from hell, and it just seemed like I was talking to the program specialist every day.
Yeah.
And it happens. I mean, then last year last year was my 23rd or 24th year. I didn't have any
Yeah.
rough parents, and this year I got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of have to learn how to ride
The
the wave.
wave, right?
Right, you gotta ride the wave, yeah, and now that you know that what's coming, you can't be surprised by it. And the one thing I see teachers and I see administrators do, and this was advice given me by a principal a long time ago, was that you just can't put it off, and you just can't wish it would go away, or
Right.
I'm not gonna deal with that right now. I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
There's stuff that you just gotta put in your big boy pants and say, okay, I gotta make a phone call right now. If I don't do it
Yeah.
right now, I gotta squash it now. Or the meeting comes and you didn't do this, or you didn't do that,
Didn't
you
do
didn't do
your
that, you didn't, or you weren't prepared for this, or you forgot to do this. You can't just say, oh, F it,
Yeah.
you just won't do it.
Yeah.
You gotta say, hey man, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that. I gotta come back and do it again, or I gotta come back and make amends for it. Otherwise, you get in that habit of just saying F it. No, I forgot that person, fucking,
Yeah.
we'll just hold it anyways, we'll just do it anyways, oh, no, it doesn't matter, we'll just do it anyways.
Yeah.
That's, eventually that pattern and that habit will come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, well, somebody's gonna,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and something's gonna come back later on and say, you knew you didn't do this, you didn't tell anyone. Why did you not do that, you know, and then you don't really have a good excuse for it, or you end up lying, and then that's even worse.
that's even worse.
That's even worse, yeah.
Especially in our profession, right?
Yeah.
With so many lawyers involved
Yeah,
sometimes.
so you know, the waves, the highs and lows of the wave, you know, you'll learn how to ride them, and then at the bottom, you know, you just gotta say, all right, you know, this will pass, I'll get through this, you know.
Yeah.
I just need to make sure I dot my i's and cross my t's and
Yeah.
do it the right way. So
Don't hide from
so,
it,
so
yeah.
that when it's gone, and you can sleep at night and not have to
Yeah.
worry about.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I do is like, and I'm glad you brought that up because I am older. I don't know how I would handle this job if I was right out of college,
Yeah,
like you.
yeah,
I think the fact that I was able to kind of come into this later on in life,
yeah.
I have a family now, I have kids, I have responsibilities.
Mhm.
So things like this I take seriously, you
Yeah.
know? 'Cause
It's not a
my
job.
pro-
It's not a good job for someone who's immature.
Yeah, no, especially when there's lawyers. I think that was the biggest humbling experience when I first had a lawyer there, two lawyers there for one of the case carriers, for one of the students. And I remember thinking like, yeah, this is serious stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just walk in here and not know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Cause they'll eat you up and you'll
Well,
end up looking like,
Yeah, and you gotta know, whenever talking to a lawyer, I always say the old cop show, just the facts and nothing but the
yeah,
facts.
that, no, say no more than you
No,
do.
that's it.
Thanks, coach.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank
All right.
you.